So as we are coming towards the end of this Davos, this serendipitous Davos in May this year, I'm looking back at COP26 and all the conversations we had about unlikely partnerships that needed to convene to really scale up the agenda. The fact we're 6 months on has just been enough time to amplify that, but not too long a time, which is typically what happens with these meetings. Kimberly, what was your impression of Davos on all of that?
Jacqueline, I think it was amazing. Actually, when you think about 6 months ago, we were in Glasgow, Scotland, and actually we didn't even know if COP26 was going to take place with the pandemic, as you know. Yeah. Well, it did, and we all convened, and that was my first COP experience. But what resonated through all the attendees is that this was the first time that you really had a catalyst of corporations with the public sector and the NGOs saying, we have to solve this climate crisis, and it's not only one of us, it's all of us together, and we need to do it and activate solutions at scale rapidly.
I think you're absolutely right, and the leaning in of the private sector that happened in Glasgow I felt was quite amplified during the conversations here, and I don't know, some of my impressions. First of all, it was very weird, wasn't it, walking in Davos without snow boots? That was kind of weird, but much more pleasant.
Yes, indeed.
But one thing that really struck me was where all the buildings are normally along the promenade. So there's Russia House, there's Polish House. Russia House is now Russia War Crimes House, and that was, I don't know, we walked in there, and everybody who walked in there came out with tears in their eyes. It was just so amplified. It was the not fully documented war crimes that have happened so far.
Without a doubt. It really demonstrates what you've always shared, is that we're embarking an era where there's going to be resource scarcity. And I think we're now seeing that for the first time. Yeah. And we're seeing climate migration at a scale that we hadn't anticipated this early on when we're looking to a 2050 target. When you think about that, 2050, and we're now seeing war, we're seeing massive climate migration, and we're only in the beginning of what the possibility is. So the act of urgency at scale, bringing together the NGOs, the corporate, the governments, truly has to happen immediately. And I saw catalyst of opportunities clearly there that carried through from COP26. I
agree with you, and I think just the fact that the conversations, the ones that we were involved in even, they were just really short, sharp and targeted. Mm-hmm. It's like, right, we had this conversation 6 months ago. What have you done independently? Let's go. Let's make some steps forward. A lot of women involved in those conversations into action, just as an aside.
It is, and it is interesting to think about the women component to that. And I think as women, we do tend to collaborate, and we do like to activate that level of action, but do it in an authentic way and realize that you're bringing together large institutions that built on systems and doing it in a way where we don't know the answer, but we're being authentic and we're saying, we have to come together to solve this. Let's solve it together. Let's co-innovate. And let's think about that future sustainable, resilient economy, global economy that where all thrive, nature and humanity and harmony.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think just concluding on that is really this idea of amplified partnerships and ecosystems, as you say, what we need to say, what are we good at doing, and partner for everything else. And that's starting to form around really seismic challenges. So being able to scale up innovation, scale up financing in a collaborative manner, that's what I'm expecting to see at COP27, indeed Davos 23.
Absolutely, look forward to it.
Me too. So that concludes PA's conversations in and around the agenda of Davos 22. I'm super excited about galvanising partnerships and ecosystems, particularly around water and carbon, particularly around resilient cities, and particularly around green tech scale-up, and see some action in this coming year ahead.